Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sea.
Welcome to Be My Guest. This is Jan Lewis. Today we have a real Upton treat. We have Barbara Burke, who is the curator of the Upton Historical Society, and we have Tom Bayer, who's the secretary at the Upton Historical Society. Welcome to you both. This is great. We got them on both again. Now, they both have things to talk to us about. Barbara, why don't you start? Go for it. And welcome again. You look great.
Oh, yes. We decided today to talk about Upton and wintertime.
Upton in wintertime. Sounds good.
And as I'm one of those strange people that grew up in Upton and have chosen to stay here the rest of my life, I have many memories of the winter and the snow.
Yeah, the snow. Wow, it must. What was the biggest snowstorm that you remember in your whole lifetime?
I would say the biggest was in the 40s when I was going to school in Grafton because our school had burnt down. And I lived on Stoddard Street with winters with my sister. And you know the great big stone wall on School Street?
Yeah.
Well, in order to get to the bus, which was on the one pickup was Upton Center, the other was in West Upton. And I walked the stone wall.
Yeah.
Because it was too difficult to plow the roads.
I'm trying to think of the stone wall you're referring to. It's on School Street?
You know where Fieldstone is?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah. Okay.
That
Oh.
stone wall.
The stone wall there, you used to walk that?
Yeah.
How old were you? What grade were you in?
Well, at Grafton, we went from sophomores and graduated from Grafton High.
Okay, so you weren't a little one. You were a teenager by then.
Yeah, I was a teenager.
And so you've seen a lot of. Have you seen a lot of change in Upton in the wintertime than when you were growing up?
Yes.
For the better, or for hopefully for the better.
Yeah.
So,
As they like to say, that's debatable.
debatable.
I always remember my neighbor who lived on, well, as he described it, in 1937 he bought a house on Pleasant Street with all of the upheaval of new roads, and his house now is on Main Street. We were the first house.
You were the first one.
At that time.
Yeah.
Now I think it's number 4.
What was it then? If it's number 4 now, what was it before?
It was the first house
Number 1.
on the left.
Okay, and now it's number 4.
Yeah.
It has moved. It grew legs. No, it didn't move.
The street moved.
Street moved.
Yeah. But he happened to be road commissioner and did a great job for plowing.
Mm-hmm.
And at one time in the 30s, we had 2 construction companies in town, and I could never understand how they could decide how to bid for plowing the roads.
How to bid because of the competition, right?
Yes.
And there were only 2 in town.
There were only 2.
And it's not like today where you get all these individuals with their plows right on their truck, you know. That had to be, did they get along okay, these 2?
During the opening of the bids, they would look at each other.
Mean. Yeah. Like, I'm going to get ahead of you.
But I really think they were good friends.
Yeah. Who usually won out?
I believe they generally gave contracts, and this is just from my school memories. Generally the lowest bid, but they could also choose
Where
which
they-
streets,
Oh, okay.
and one could bid on the out
Yeah.
district,
Yeah.
which, I mean, I hate to date myself, but many of those roads weren't plowed, they weren't paved.
They weren't. Now we're pretty lucky because we've got so many. Tom, I know you have some things to share too. You brought us some pictures. Barbara was telling me about those too. What now?
Yeah.
Tell the audience what those pictures are.
Well, this is just some pictures from the collection of the Historical Society that shows what some of the winters were like in the past.
Can you zero in on that, Paul?
This
There you go.
this first one is looking from Grove Street up towards the town common, and the power lines are really sagging down here because it's an ice storm. But you can see the old Methodist church on the one side.
What
I guess
year was
it's on
that,
this
Tom?
side.
What year, Tom?
I'm not sure of the years on all of these.
So the Methodist Church is what the art gallery is now. Am I right on that or no?
No, that's where the
No.
library is.
That's where. Okay, that's where we are right now.
Right.
Okay, got
you're
it.
In the, you're in
Yeah.
the Methodist
Okay.
church. Yeah, so this was a church, and on the other side of the street from the church was there was a livery and a blacksmith on that side, which are gone now. And this is a similar type of image from West Upton, looking into the center of West Upton. And in the distance, you can see the old Hotel Pleasant up here in the center of it.
Is Hotel Pleasant? Was that what is now the Upton Inn?
No, that was located where as you going towards Grafton, after you go through the traffic light, there's
Yep.
a gas station on the right. It was right there.
It was right there.
Yeah, it was right there. And you can see the trolley tracks in this photograph, so you know it was early 20s or earlier,
Yeah.
because the trolley tracks were taken up in the 20s, I believe.
Did you ever ride the trolleys? Did you ever ride them, or were you too young, too little?
They went out in the early part of the 20th century, so
Okay.
20s.
No.
yeah,
You were, but no, she
1920s.
was probably too no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't admit to that one, Barbara. Don't slip up on that.
I think it was 1909.
Oh, that's way before your time.
Yeah.
Way. You weren't even a gleam in your parents' eye. And what's this one, Tom?
This one is the town common.
Oh,
Buried in snow, which
Oh my
is
God.
probably familiar today.
yeah.
But this lower one is probably kind of interesting. This building here, where it shows Aldrich's Barber Shop, is actually, that's located where the parking lot beside the town hall is,
Yeah.
across Warren Street. This building was there, and you can see that snow was quite deep at that time. It was up to this man's shoulders as he's shoveling out.
Oh.
And I believe he's also using wooden shovels. to
They
do
didn't have
that.
snow blowers back then. Huh?
Snow blowers.
No, they didn't have those.
If you want to see how bad it gets, take a look at this one.
Oh, wait till you see this. Oh,
These men are shoveling out a road somewhere in town, and you can see that it's well over their heads. And they're doing it by hand, and in the lower picture you can see that they've dug tunnel all the way up through the middle of the road, and the men are spaced out along
Oh,
there,
my God.
digging away at the snow. And what a job that was.
There's a
go out
broken
there.
back.
a mile or after a mile of digging snow that's 5-6 feet deep.
Was it Milford Hospital up there at the time? Because with the back problems these guys must have was it up there?
They probably,
Yes,
they probably
they have a
couldn't.
Milford
Okay, I
They
can
probably
imagine.
couldn't get there because the snow was too deep.
Yeah, I can imagine the back problems. Oh, yeah. But what, Barbara, before I forget, you have a unique driveway. I remember when she told me how to get to her house. And she says there is a telephone pole in the middle of my driveway. And I went, that's it. How do the plow decide how do they decide which way to go up at your house? Or does he just go both?
I have one of the local people who plows me.
He does it both sides of the telephone. How did that telephone pole get there? Or did you just kind of like work around
Well,
it?
4 times I have gone to the selectmen when they ask, is there anything we can help you with?
Yeah, that pole.
And every time I go in, I say, yes. I have just one request. Will you please get the telephone pole out of the middle of my driveway?
And what's the problem?
The telephone company said because of the 2 streets, Quail Run is a new street, and what's the other one side of it?
Oh boy.
I named it and can't
Fox.
remember.
No,
No.
no.
Well, in any case, they need certain spaces,
Yeah.
Spacings, yeah.
and it would be too long a distance to spread the wire and take down my telephone pole.
Yeah, but this is 2018. We have wires that can extend pretty far. I don't get them at all.
Yeah.
They just don't want to? You think that the telephone company says, oh no?
Well,
It's
now
hard to say.
there's another development going in on the other side of the road.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've had it.
Maybe you're going to get another telephone pole in front of that telephone pole. Oh my God.
But they also have less wires, and that seems to be the big standoff.
The wiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So many people. My favorite story of that is when the man came to sell me insurance for the year.
Mm-hmm.
He backed out of my driveway,
Uh-oh.
hit the pole, yanked all the wires down and everything. So my husband said, "Why are we in the dark?" And I said, "Someone just hit the pole." So I opened the door when he came in to say, "Can I use your telephone?" And I said, "But you can. There's one thing I have to ask you. Do you have insurance to pay for my house?"
Oh my God. Oh, they didn't hit the house.
No.
No, but he yanked it out of my...
Oh.
Pulled the wires out of the house.
Yeah.
That would have been a perfect time for the telephone company to have gotten rid of it and moved it.
That was one of the time I said, now,
Now.
can you please...
Didn't happen.
Well,
What year was this? Do you remember?
Oh,
Too
dear.
many ago.
I would say probably 1960s.
Oh my God.
You should ask him to hit it a couple of more times.
Hit it a couple more times. You know, that might be a good plan.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
All right.
I want to remain on Grove Street.
Well, they can't throw you out. You just, a little kick to the pole and, ooh, it went down. Now I get it out of my driveway.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, well, I don't know. Anyway, Tom, what else do you have for us?
Oh, what do I have? Well, Barbara was talking about the really deep snow when she had to walk on a wall, and I did some checking on some dates, and I think that was probably 1948. It's about
Yeah.
that time period. It was a
No, because I was out of school in 48.
yeah. Some other interesting dates as far as winter time and so forth. In 1888, there was a big blizzard in New England, and that really buried things. But an more interesting one was in 1816. Was actually summertime, and there was no summer in 1816.
What happened?
There was snow in June.
Here?
The crops
Yes.
failed, and they had to try to replant. The sky was all kind of hazy and red. There was a volcanic eruption in Indonesia the year before, and all the dust that went into the air went completely around the world
Oh my God.
and shaded. So in 1816, the summer of 1816 was really bad for anybody dependent upon crops or anything.
Was it just here? Did it go to Worcester?
Oh, no, yeah. Like
So
I
it was
said,
just-
it was
just
around
the
the
month-
world.
Just the month of June, right?
Well, no.
The whole summer?
I just mentioned
Just
June because it
the
did
whole-
get some snow in June.
So
but
no summer.
Yeah.
In 1860, Upton had no
1860,
summer.
Yeah.
Was the pond
Most places
frozen over?
didn't.
It must have been frozen over the whole
Well,
time.
I don't know if it got quite that cold, but yeah, enough to,
Can you imagine
kill the
not having a
crops
summer?
now and
Oh
then.
my God.
yeah, living through that.
We also had snow in May,
Mm-hmm.
and the date is what?
70s or 80s, I remember.
Yeah,
I remember going
Yeah.
to work and there was snow.
Yeah. I think I was in Bridgewater, living there with my parents in the 80s. Something about snow in May or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember
Because the
that.
trees had leafed out,
Yeah.
and so when the snow came down, the trees held all that snow, and then all the branches
Just-
broke and came down,
Yeah.
and power lines and roadways blocked, and it was a real mess then.
So far this winter, we've been pretty lucky.
Yes, this has not been terribly bad.
No.
February hasn't gotten here yet.
Yeah, right. It's still January. You got
No.
at least a month. But I have one more little collection here that I thought would be interesting. This is a collection that shows how roads were cleared in the past. In this upper picture is Mr. Bissonette with his road plow being pulled by two horses. And we have a couple of pictures of him clearing roads with his horses. Over here, there's another picture of a pair of horses pulling a plow. And then at one time, they had what they call cleat tracks, small tractors that had the tracks on them, and they used those to clear roads. And then finally, they got around to having more conventional trucks. That looks like it's maybe in the late 30s or 40s. Of trucks with plows on them. So it's kind of an evolution of clearing roads over the years. But in some of these days before the automobiles particularly, I don't have a picture, but they used rollers. They would take a roller out on the road with a horse and pull it to pack the snow because everyone used sleighs.
Yeah.
So they would get on the sleighs to go to church, to go to work, whatever. And so having the snow packed down.
That's pretty good.
Was
Tom, can
good.
people come to the Historical Society right here in town
Yeah.
and actually look at some of these
Oh,
pictures?
yes. Yeah, we have like 8,000, 9,000 photographs of all sorts, and they're pretty much categorized and indexed.
Wow.
And they're all scanned so we can look at them on the computer. And so
When is the
forth.
Historical Society open? It's right here on the second floor of the library building.
Yes.
When are you open?
We're open Tuesday mornings, Wednesday mornings, Thursday mornings, and Saturday mornings, like 9 to 12.
No wonder we just missed you, because by the time we get here, programs are starting by 1 o'clock. We just miss you people.
Yeah.
I've noticed a lot of guests, a lot of them come from well out of state, and they're standing there, it's so cute, they're standing there staring at that beautiful display of the little shoes.
Yeah.
We had some nurses on one time from out of town. They were looking at that,
Yeah.
fascinated.
Yeah, my wife put that display together.
She did that?
Yeah. She did the one in the town hall with the hats, too.
She did that too?
Yes. Yeah.
There were some hats in the room next door to us. Wasn't it our friend, she just passed away recently. She
Yeah,
loved hats. Joan, yes.
Shanahan.
Joan Shanahan loved hats.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was really cool. She really loved those. So you lived through a lot of, well, a lot of people have, but you've seen the difference between they didn't, you were too little. The rollers, they didn't use rollers when
I
you were-
saw rollers.
You saw
Yeah.
them?
I am blessed with memory. My grandfather was in real estate. My parents were separated, so I lived most of my life with my grandmother and grandfather. And as it was a mutual love between Grandpa and I, whenever he would get in his Model T,
Oh, cool. Yeah.
my brother and I would say, "Can we go? Can we go?"
Yeah.
So he was connected somehow with the town. I never did find exactly what he did, but one of his friends was a man whose last name was Wood, which is a common
Very,
name
yeah.
in Upton. But this Mr. Wood was road commissioner.
Yeah.
So we got to see the different equipment they had,
Yeah.
and I remember the roller.
You remember that.
Yeah,
All I can think of with rollers is what printers use, but also what we do when we cook.
yes.
That's the only roller I know.
Yeah.
That's the only, that's, yeah, that's pretty interesting. And then when did the plows start coming in? When did that start taking place here in town? Do you remember?
Well, as I said, our next door neighbor then became road commissioner in the 30s, I believe.
Yeah.
And he had to house most of his equipment in that house next door. So I remember every time the equipment got a little more sophisticated, another garage would go up beside us.
That makes
and-
sense, yeah.
Uh, We were, my grandmother was very good friends with them, and they helped us out so much. And I know both the road commissioner would stop in and chat with my grandmother.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in this town, Tom?
No.
You
No.
didn't. Where did you come from? Where did you grow up?
I came from Western Pennsylvania.
What brought you to Upton?
Work.
Of course.
Well, not really.
No.
Work brought me to New England.
Yeah.
A woman brought me to Upton. Put it that way.
How did you become interested in his story? Barbara's lived here all her life. How did you get interested in it?
I don't know. I was kind of interested in history, and and then I attended some meetings of the society, and they roped me in. Yeah.
When are the meetings? If somebody out there would like, first of all, how can people get in touch with you if they really would like to come and take part?
We have a website at on RootsWeb, which I'm not sure is on the air right now. I think they're having some technical problems. And we have email, which is Upton Historical Society at hotmail.com. So if you want to get in touch with us that way, or our phone is 508-529-6600, and you can leave a message anytime on the answering machine. And so we're open for visitors. People want to come in and browse, just look.
Yeah.
We've got a fairly large museum there. And
When do you
spend
meet?
some
Once a
time.
month?
We try to have meetings, general meetings once a month, about the third Friday of the month,
Mm-hmm.
from September through May. We do
Right.
it. And so on our website will be our newsletter and our schedule of meetings and so forth.
Friday evening, so people can come?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Friday evening.
Right.
About how long? Hour and a half? Hour?
Yeah, an hour and a half kind of thing. you
Talk
know,
about
and-
things that are upcoming that you want to get.
Yeah, we try to get speakers to come in and so
That's
forth. Yeah.
really. When's your next speaker coming in?
Let's see, what are we doing in February? We have something scheduled late February, and I can't remember what's on the agenda. I think,
Russ Wood.
is it Russ Wood
Is
or
it
is it you
Russ
and I?
Wood?
I think it might be you and I.
Oh. So you're going to have speakers coming. It's going to be you both, Barbara, and you, Tom. They're going to be
Yeah.
in February, right?
Yeah.
Are those pretty well tended? Do you do it right here in the museum?
No, we used to years ago, but now we've pretty much been doing it in the VFW hall.
Ah.
So we use their hall.
That's
And
good.
The parking is
Yeah.
parking
so
and
good
access
there.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
they've got a ramp to get in and so forth, so
Yeah,
that works
that's
better. And in I think it's April, we'll have a antiques appraisal night.
Yes.
We bring in an appraiser,
Okay.
and people can bring in things, and for a small fee,
Mhm.
then this man will. He's really terrific. He's got years and years experience in the antique business, and
Is he on the road show we see on TV?
not that I know
No,
of.
not that one.
Not quite.
Yeah.
But, you know, even if your item doesn't have great value,
Mhm.
he can generally tell you the history of it, where it was made, what era it came from, and things like that. And he's really good too. So,
We've been talking with Tom Baer and Barbara Burke, and Barbara Burke is the curator for our Upton Historical Society, and Tom is our secretary. Am I correct?
yes.
And you can contact. We have only about 2 minutes left. You can contact them anytime. You've got room for members.
Yeah. we got
Any
room.
age, it's okay, right?
Yeah.
Do
yeah.
you now? Do you have to live in Upton, or people
No,
watch
no,
us?
we've got members all over the country.
And they come and they come and see you too.
When they
When
are in
they
the,
come home.
yeah,
they
when they're in
go.
the area, they'll come and stop in.
Amazing. Barbara, I know that you have so many stories. We could probably fill 4 hours at least of programming with all the things. I mean, when I visited you, we must have talked for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Well, you
Yeah.
two work together.
Yeah.
So you two are coming up in February, and you'll be an announcement, maybe in the town crier, hopefully.
Yeah, we usually
Yes.
try to get it.
Okay, and you'll be
Announcement out there.
giving a presentation.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's
I
going to be
think
about yet?
I think it's going to be a takeoff on this.
On the winters
This
in
is an
Upton?
intro.
Why not? That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for being on so much. Before we close again, how can people reach you?
Okay, Upton Historical Society at hotmail.com, or our phone number is 508-529-6600. And please stop in when you're in the area.
Sounds good. This is great. Your second time. Now we've got another encore appearance, but there'll be another one coming up because you won't be doing any more meetings from May until September, right?
Right.
But we've got you all winter. Right? How cool is this? Maybe we can get you back on to talk about. We know about the February coming up, but the antique appraiser is in what, April or May? When is
I
that?
think he's in April.
Is in April. If you want to, let me know. We'll get it back on because I think there's a lot of people out there who have, what is this at home? They've got this and they don't know what it's worth.
Yeah,
Here you go. You're going to have an opportunity right here in town coming up in April.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
For having
We'll see you next
us.
time.